In the starting of the episode we see in the wilderness, Power is seen beheading animals and consuming their blood. She spends more time with Meowie, who she begins to like. Power doesn't think twice and rushes towards the city when the Bat Devil grabs Meowie and demands a human in exchange, all the while questioning why she's doing it. Since she enjoys blood, she thinks saving Meowie is a ridiculous excuse. She has only now realized, though, that blood is warm and pleasant to the touch. With the guts of the Bat Devil surrounding them, Power awakens with Meowie in her arms and Denji holding her. She questions why Denji spared his life while she tried to kill him. She thinks it's a silly excuse when he points to her chest and says he wants to touch her. She accepts her mistake and says she'll let him touch her now that Meowie is secure. Denji extends his arm in excitement, but it is immediately blown off. After that, the Leech Devil takes his arm and eats it. Denji is instructed to grab Meowie and flee by Power, who is unable to walk. Denji pulls the rope on his chest, but all that comes out is a tiny chainsaw, leading him to believe that he may be low on blood. The Bat Devil, the Leech Devil's man, was allegedly murdered by Denji. Denji is her type and the devil thinks he's cute, so she chooses to let him go. But Power and Meowie will be killed by the demon. The Leech Devil warns Denji that if he engages in combat after hearing it, he would perish alongside them. Denji evades her attacks as they begin to battle by running around. Eventually, he gets in a punch, but the Leech Devil pushes him away, saying that he appears to be too frail to be able to kill the Bat Devil. She admits that in their romantic and lofty ideal, she and him will kill all people. Denji is adamant about getting his Kappa feel before passing away. His dream was not good, according to the Leech Devil. He charges the devil and uses the tiny chainsaw he's got on his head to sever her neck. Then Denji starts to rant about how everyone makes fun of his dream and how much greater dreams they have. He says they should have a dream war and that if he kills her, it will prove that her dream is stronger than his as he becomes angrier by the minute. Even his screaming, according to the Leech Devil, is ineffective. Denji then charges towards her. He sidesteps her strikes and begins to wrap the Leech Devil in an intestine, forcing her to fall to her knees. As they trade blows and Denji becomes crazier and crazier, their battle gets wilder. When he finally jumps at her, she uses her tongue to penetrate his chest and defeat him. As she is about to devour him, Aki appears and summons the Fox Devil using Khan, who quickly consumes the Leech Devil's head. The Leech Devil is subsequently sucked up by the Fox Devil after asking Aki for permission to do so. He declares that the Leech Devil has been destroyed and gives the rookie devil hunters who traveled with him the go-ahead to search and rescue. Himino, who is his senior, is then requested to keep an eye out for further devils. When Denji awakens in the hospital, Aki informs him that they have located his arm and that all it needs is some blood to reattach. Denji observes that Aki and the Fox Devil appeared to be friendly. Aki reveals that in order to battle devils, devil hunters enter into contracts with them. Aki gave the Fox Devil some of his flesh as nourishment, in this case some skin, in exchange for power. While chopping the apples, Aki snatches them away from Denji as she reaches out to grab them. According to Aki, devils and other evil spirits seek for human death. Power also seems cool, says Denji. According to Aki, they discovered them by pursuing surveillance footage that pointed to a home where the Bat Devil is said to have once lived and discovering copious amounts of Denji's blood there. Although Aki believes Power attempted to murder Denji, she is unsure of his motivation for doing so. Denji acts foolish and makes up the story that he is unaware of what occurred. Aki remembers hearing stories of individuals wishing to thank the Chainsaw Devil for saving their lives. He warns Denji that if he persists, he would have to compile a report that will put both Power and Denji at risk because he stood in for her. However, because there had been no fatalities from the incident, Aki declared he would forget the tragedy provided Denji agreed to his one request. In order for him to continue living his current lifestyle, Aki requests that Denji listen to him and pushes the chopped apples to him. Denji nods in agreement and adds that he may not have a lofty ambition or be as serious as Aki, but he can depend on him. Power is standing outside the hospital room with Himino. As Aki walks away, Power remarks that he should have obtained assurance from Denji that she is not guilty. Himino warns that Aki will be held accountable if he frees her and she kills someone. He unleashes Power and declares that they are demon hunters and will use the devils and fiends against their adversaries if they are useful. Aki sees Makima at the office in the evening and updates her about Denji and Power. He explains that while they were on patrol, they ended up venturing outside the designated area and finding a residence they believe to be inhabited by the devil. He claims that when Denji killed the Bat Devil, the Leech Devil attacked him, but Division 4 killed him. He claims that the two devils did not contain any gun flesh. Despite noting that Denji and Power were able to travel quite a distance without anybody noticing, Makima thanks him for the information. Since there were no casualties and they were able to expel 2 devils, Aki claims they can ignore it. Makima agrees, but observes that Aki looks more adaptable today and wonders if Denji's influence is to blame. Aki, however, disputes that he has changed. Aki gets up in the morning and does her laundry. He goes and sits on his balcony after brewing himself a cup of coffee. Denji then gets up and goes to the loo. Aki begins her housework as Denji enjoys breakfast. Later, Aki begins to make the lunchtime curry. Someone is loudly knocking on Aki and Denji's door. They observe Power enter after breaking the door when they go to check it. Power claims that their location is deplorable. When Makima calls Aki, she explains that she also wishes to entrust him with caring for Power, just like Denji did. Makima reassures him that Power made a behavior commitment. The 3 are preparing to eat lunch when Power picks up her dish of vegetables and tosses it away, complaining that she doesn't like the food. She receives reprimands for misbehaving and wasting food from both Denji and Aki, but she doesn't care. Power clogs the toilet as a result because she only seldom takes a bath and doesn't like to flush the toilet every time. She thinks Denji and Aki's complaints are ridiculous and delicate. Power approaches Denji as she is attempting to unblock the toilet and gestures a grab by pointing at her chest. She claims she is keeping her word and will allow him to touch her. He has 3 squeezes, she says as she sits on the toilet. 1 for killing Bat Devil, 1 for defending Meowie from Aki, and 1 for each. She had initially planned to deny him, but she changed her mind. Denji is overjoyed and believes she is an angel. With this Power enables Denji to feel, yet something comes off and he feels odd. Power makes its pads visible, enlarging her breasts, and allowing him to touch her twice more. After bragging that it must have felt nice, she exits the bathroom. Denji is left speechless and unsure if that's all there is to it. The following day, Denji doesn't feel like eating and goes on patrol with Power but is continuously daydreaming and uninspired. Later, Makima forces him to sign some paperwork at the office, but she senses he's feeling down and wonders what's on his mind. Denji adds that although he finally obtained his goal, it wasn't a pleasant experience. If he wants something in the future, he wonders if the process of obtaining it will make him happier than receiving it. Denji explains to Makima what he means by saying that the first time he touched a woman's breast, it didn't feel all that pleasant. Then Makima holds his hand and tells him that she thinks in situations like that, getting to know someone better makes a difference. She instructs him to examine the other person's hand, the length of their fingers, if their hand is warm or cold, and the form of their ears as she plays with his hand. She then bites his finger and inquires as to if anyone has ever done it before. Even if he can't see her, he can tell it's her by how forcefully she bites him when she urges him to remember the sensation. Makima touches her chest with his hand. After some while, Denji loses control and collapses on the ground. He is informed by Makima that she has a request and that she wants him to stop the Gun Devil. She reveals that although his current whereabouts are unknown, the Gun Devil first emerged in America 13 years ago. Each and every devil hunter dreams of slaying this formidable fiend. She thinks Denji can kill it because he is special, and if he does, she will grant him one wish. Denji is thrilled when he realizes he can inquire about anything, even inappropriate topics. According to Makima, when devils first arrived, people began using more guns, but this led to fights, which made people even more wary of firearms. The Gun Devil then appeared after a significant gun-related terrorist assault in America. Young Aki wanted to play catch with his father during the terrorist assault, but his father declines because his brother Tayo isn't feeling well and instructs Aki to play by himself. Aki and Tayo go outside to play after Tayo makes the decision to play with him. Outside, Aki yells at Tayo to stop following him and throws a snowball at him. Tayo responds by throwing a snowball back at Aki. They lob numerous balls at one another. Aki encourages Tayo to go back inside and get his gloves so they may play catch since he doesn't want his brother to acquire a cold. Their home is blown away right after Tayo returns home. According to Makima, the Gun Devil killed 1.2 million people in just 5 minutes before disappearing. However, as people's dread of demons grew, so did the demons' power. They passed a law prohibiting the possession of firearms and placed restrictions on the news coverage of gun-related incidents in order to contain the Gun Devil's power. Denji advises him to give it his all in order to beat the Gun Devil. Then Makima informs him that they will start by locating the Gun Devil. She displays some bullets to the man and explains that they are made of the flesh of the Gun Devil. Some parts of the devil's body become scorched and separated as a result of his rapid movement. The Gun Devil makes each devil that consumes a piece stronger. The parts cling together, according to Makima, and when they grow large enough, they will rejoin the original body. After defeating the fish devil who consumed it, Aki discovers another portion of the Gun Devil. Public safety is given a new task. In the Hotel Morin, someone claimed to have seen a devil. Many civil devil hunters had perished in their attempts to exterminate the demon. It's possible that the devil consumed one of the gun devil's fragments. Denji is tasked with battling the demon alongside 6 other devil hunters. Aki confirms that the devil inside ate a piece as well while holding a piece from the gun devil in front of the hotel because his piece is responding to the building. Denji speculates that it might be the gun devil himself, but Aki refutes this and says the response ought to have been more ferocious. Power and Denji are the ones who will initially battle the devils, and Aki argues that Hirokazu doesn't need to have faith in them because they have the ability to kill them if they attempt to flee. Denji and Power speculate that Aki's moodiness might be related to the morning prank they pulled, but Aki becomes even furious and claims that it wasn't even a hoax. Himino advises him to be gentle with the children. Denji concurs and says he needs a reward because he didn't stop fighting the Bat Devil. Himino then announces that she will kiss the cheeks of whoever kills the devil. Denji becomes excited but then remembers what he did to Makima and decides against kissing her, informing her that he already knows who he is going to kiss. Denji explains that since he doesn't even know Himino's name and was taught that such things only feel wonderful when you know the person, he is not interested in a kiss from her. Then Himino comes up to him and promises to give him a French kiss if he kills the devil. Denji becomes extremely motivated and runs into the hotel first. Hirokazu pursues Denji, attempting to stop him and stating that Himino has been looking after him for half a year, and he can't let some unknown rogue take her lips. Instead, it would be preferable if Hirokazu received a kiss on the cheek from her. Denji and Hirokazu's discussion is joined by Power and Kobeni. Himino responds to Aki's inquiry on the newcomer's character by saying that Kobeni is strong but not brave, while Hirokazu lacks courage but possesses motivation. They will either pass away or stop, in Aki's estimation, in a year. Then Himino tells Aki not to pass away. Earlier, at the cemetery, Kishibe approaches Himino who is hurt and introduces her to her new comrade, Aki. When Himino inquires about his usefulness, Aki responds, probably. Aki is her 6th teammate, according to her, and the others all passed away since they were worthless. Then she again urges Aki not to pass away. The demon is still being sought after inside the hotel by the devil hunters. Then Himino halts and warns Aki that the demon is approaching. A head with a hand and a foot then emerges from a door. It jumps at Kobeni but stops in mid-air, giving Power the chance to sever the devil's head in half with a sword made of her blood. Power then boasts that the devil froze because of her fear, but Himino explains that it was her power, as she has a contract with the ghost devil and once gave him her right eye in exchange for the ability to use the devil's power, allowing her to control the devil's right hand. They move on to the next floor because that isn't the demon holding the gun demon's piece. If Himino plans to fight her if she ever loses control, Power questions whether it was appropriate for her to reveal her talent to her. Himino says she's okay with it and that she still has one last trick up her sleeve. Himino then takes Power with the ghost devil and declares that she can murder her at any time as Power wonders aloud what she will do if Himino kills Kobeni. Being the ghost devil, Power tries to grab the devil's arm, but her hands simply slip right through him. When Hirokazu gets to the top floor, he sees a blood stain that matches the one the death devil left on the floor before. They are still on the 8th floor rather than the 9th when he comes back to verify the label. The others notice him coming from upstairs as he goes downstairs. When the devil hunters notice something is off when Hirokazu descends from the 2nd floor. Kobeni is asked by Himino to give the peace sign and remain still. Then she emerges from upstairs, but Himino goes downstairs first. Aki walks into one of the spaces. He observes that there is a different chamber on the opposite side of the window. He enters in, exits via the door, and discovers himself on the same 8th floor as the room he just left, across from it. Denji agrees, saying that there is a door from the room on the other side of the windows to the room directly across from them. Then Aki understands they are stranded on the 8th floor. They make numerous attempts, but ultimately come to the conclusion that it must be a devil's ploy. They are unable to depart the 8th story by way of the stairs or a lift. Elevators don't work, and windows lead to the rooms across from them. Returning to the 8th floor involves passing through the ceiling as well. Denji accuses Power of killing the head demon because she believes it may have sealed them before it died, but Power quickly denies this accusation. That is impossible, says Aki. Because the devil's power will vanish when he dies. Himino remarks that this is the first time she has ever witnessed a devil employ such cunning. Other devil hunters are probably going to show there to assist them, but Himino is hoping they won't fall victim to the same trap as them. Kobeni sobs, declaring that they will all perish. Since her family needs money to send her intelligent brother to college, she was forced to pick between working as a sex worker and a devil hunter. When Power notices her crying, she begins to mock her. When Aki observes that all of the clocks have stopped at 8:18, he deduces that the devil has managed to stop time on the 8th level and that no one will likely rescue them. Denji is delighted since it means he can sleep whenever he wants. As they remain there indefinitely, Hirokazu labels him an idiot. That might or might not be true, Denji responds, adding that they should wake him up when they figure it out. After some time, Himino wakes up Denji and informs him that they have determined that the electricity and water supplies are still operational. Additionally, they were able to retrieve some food that had been abandoned by evacuees. Aki won't stop searching for the devil and won't take a nap. Hirokazu was scheduled to accompany Aki, but he barricaded himself in a room out of fear. Himino had to knock Kobeni out because she became irrational and wanted to drink from the toilet. Power has nothing else on her mind but winning the Nobel Prize and the subsequent treatment she will receive from people who would regard her as a deity. When she became Prime Minister, she would increase the consumption tax to 100%. Himino becomes less dense after hearing from Denji that Power is always like that. Himino lights her final cigarette while caring for Hirokazu and Kobeni. Himino reveals that she taught him how to smoke, and Denji observes that she uses the same brand of cigarettes as Aki. Himino had earlier asked Aki if he smoked, but the latter had said that it was unhealthy. Himino surmises that Aki became a demon hunter because he doesn't want to establish friends and instead wants to slay the gun demon. He probably believes that it doesn't matter if smokes affect demon hunters' health because they typically pass away early. Himino hopes that Aki's declaration that he won't pass away easily is true because losing a teammate always causes too much trouble. Later, Aki witnesses Himino getting slapped by a woman. Himino then says that the woman in question was a former teammate's girlfriend. Those family members typically turn on the devil hunters since they are unable to vent their anger against the devil. Then, in vengeance, Aki chases the woman and sticks a piece of gum in her hair, reminding Himino that she should always fight back when someone wrongs her. Himino laughs despite being startled. Himino gives Aki a cigarette later on at dinner in the hopes that if they are going to be teammates for a while, he will start smoking. Aki accepts the gift but is adamant that it will be his one and last cigarette ever. Himino informs Aki that she is now smoking her final cigarette when he comes to the group on the 8th floor and asks whether she has any. When Aki comes up to her and requests the cigarette, she offers it to him. Denji then accuses them of a covert kiss, but they don't listen. The devil they murdered is becoming larger, Aki then says, and he is awful news. When they go outside after hearing something in the hallway, they see a fleshy blob with eyeballs, arms, and other bodily parts blocking the way. The devil then refers to them as stupid humans and requests a contract from them. The devil wants to devour Denji, whether he is living or dead, and if it gets what it wants, it will spare no one else's life. When Kobeni leaves the room, he tells Denji to let the devil consume him while brandishing a knife. Her rush towards Denji is met by Himino's knockdown and Aki's disarming of her. Since the fox devil is in Kyoto, Aki tries to use him but is unable to do so, concluding that the location is totally isolated from the outside world. Himino then utilizes her ghost devil, devouring the devil's parts. The devil cries out in agony about how much it hurts, yet he only grows bigger. They are wasting their time, the devil says, for this is simply his stomach and not his genuine body, which lacks his heart. Once more, the devil requests a deal from them. Denji speculates that it will still murder everyone, but Himino clarifies that as long as they uphold the terms of the bargain, the devil will also have to carry out his part and the first one to do so would perish. Hirokazu also appears and warns them to murder Denji or else they would perish. Since the devil wants Denji dead, Aki claims it must be in its best interest in some way, therefore he declines. Himino declines as well, but Power is okay with killing him because if she can't get away, she won't be able to receive the Nobel Prize. The gang muses for a while longer. Himino stops Aki from using his blade, despite his declaration that he will if necessary. Denji questions why, but Himino asserts that she would sooner murder Denji than allow Aki to wield his sword if necessary. Hirokazu notices that the meal has all been consumed. He observes Power munching, but she claims Denji ate it all and denies it. Then Kobeni appears and accuses Power of being unable to flee because of his abilities. Hirokazu tries to reassure her, but she assumes he is a spy because he is on the side of the devil. Power attests to it, but Hirokazu disputes the claim. However, Kobeni approaches him and yells that he is a spy, frightening him. The devil outside then gets bigger, chases Aki, Himino, and Denji while claiming to be driven by fear and wants Denji. The devil claims to be the Eternity Devil and that only he is capable of killing the chainsaw. The ground then makes a 90-degree turn. Aki and Himino are commanded by Hirokazu and Kobeni to kill Denji. Himino uses her devil on Aki to prevent him from using his sword after he resolves to do so. She explains that while using his sword would allow them to escape, doing so would violate the terms of his contract and shorten his life. Aki manages to shift and shields Denji with his body, allowing himself to be stabbed, as Hirokazu leaps on him and Kobani tries to attack him. Aki screams that he doesn't care if Denji perishes, but Denji also wants to kill the gun devil, and Aki is aware that he cannot accomplish this on his own. Aki will not allow Denji to perish, even if he has little time left to live. He needs as many devil hunters to battle beside him. Denji queries Power about perhaps halting Aki's bleeding. Power reveals that while it's challenging to control someone else, she can manage her own blood, but losing Aki would mean losing her personal chef. Himino loses her cool after assuming that Aki could pass away and begins to consider their options. Denji alone is to blame, according to Kobani, who might have prevented everything. Denji finally concedes, informing them that while he will let the devil eat him, he will still battle him and, if possible, kill him, so Himino shouldn't forget her commitment to kiss him. Denji surmises that the devil begs them to kill him because he is frightened of the chainsaw. Denji plans to send the devil to hell and then make it kill itself because it was wailing in agony when Himino was fighting him. Denji complains that Aki did this for him and says that after they go, they will fight it out. Denji pulls his cord and leaps into the hallway to confront the Eternity Devil. With this episode 6 comes to end. If you like my explanation, consider subscribing channel for more videos like this.